lies among softly rolling hills, along the shores of placidly beautiful lakes, bathed in the richest shades of nature's brush. Here one can almost hear the silence of rural peace as the soothing of restlessness by the voices of angels. Much of Sweden's rural population have long pedigrees. Their farms are looked upon with as much pride as the nobleman regards his estate. This love of the land, held by their fathers' fathers for many generations, has been one of the sources of strength of the kingdom. One of the more famous of these rural homesteads is that of the late Dag Hammarskjöld, now being preserved as a museum and memorial to one of our century's great men of peace. The town of Ystad was incorporated in the early 13th century. A plaque on one of the more than 300 half-timbered houses marks the site where Gustavus IV Adolphus signed the declaration of war against Napoleon. History's turmoil has failed to damage Ystad lastingly, making it now one of the best preserved medieval towns in Sweden. From Ystad we move out into the countryside of Skåne, visiting first the Chateau of Skaversjö, a compromise between an old-time castle and an 18th century Swedish manor. Maltusholm, dating from 1635 and rebuilt 100 years later according to the more elegant 18th century style, houses many rich treasures of art and literature. If secret passages, thick walls and turrets are a lure, you find them in Vittskövle, built by the Danes in the 1500s. Svaneholm, dating from the same period, is considered the skyscraper among Swedish castles. When the Reformation came to Sweden, Bålsjö Cloister was given to the Archbishop of Lund. Its white walls and stepped gables now in private ownership, it is a favorite visiting place of travelers to Skåne. A tree-lined avenue leads to the palace which King Gustavus III described as too royal for a private citizen, the Rococo Chateau Övedskloster. Trolleholm, a symphony in brick, is perhaps the most impressive of the castles of this region. There are many royal castles in this land, such as Malmöhus in Malmö. Kalmar, the great fortress that lies just north of the actual chateau country, is known as the Key of Sweden. Dating back to Viking days, it has played one of the more important roles in the history of the kingdom. It was in those days that great Viking chieftains were laid to rest among giant stones placed to form the contours of a ship, and it is in Skåne that the stones of King All stand as a monument to the founders of a great nation.